Am I audible? Yes, am I audible or not? Yeah, okay, thank you. So, is the topic that is SQLite is already started or not in both class? Is it remaining? Okay. So today we will start with the new topic that is SQLite, and basically we will create one database and one table inside using SQLite in Android. Even though this topic is not inside your syllabus, but we will cover this SQLite as well. And again, there is a Firebase in your syllabus, so that will be covered in expert talk. So there will be one expert talk which you need to attend compulsory, because that is in your syllabus. So that's why. Okay. So before starting for the SQLite, let me go through some theory part of SQLite. So we are learning here the SQLite database.
Sir, can you start the recording?
Yeah, okay. Okay, so we are starting with the SQLite database. Again, I'm telling you, this is not in your syllabus, but you need to know that that database, you can use the offline database or online database. The online database, you can go for the Firebase, and that will be covered in expert talk. Okay, so no separate session will be there for the Firebase. So that's why you must need to attend that session, and that session will be hands-on, like I am doing the same way. It will be performed and it will be also recorded. So don't worry. So we are starting with the SQLite database. So let's start with the some theory. Okay, like SQLite is an open source database.
કેટલા હમણાં ના જવાય.
Please mute yourself, Parth. Thank you. Okay, so first of all, it's open source. The second point is it supports RDBMS, supports relational. Basically, RDBMS is nothing but a standard relational database management system. The third thing is that you don't require any other libraries. Okay, it's built in inside the Android Studio, so no need to download any libraries. Okay, no need to do any extra stuffs. So it's built in. So it's a open source, support RDBMS. It's built in. Okay, so the library is already available in Android, so no need to do an extra things. It's a local database. We can access it offline as well. Generally, it's an offline database. Okay, no need of internet connectivity. It's a local database, and the extension for SQLite is .db. Okay, the extension for the database for SQLite is .db. Okay, so what we will do today, we will create one database. Okay, and we will create one table. The database name we will give as a DevStar CSE12. Okay, and the table name we will give CSE12, and there will be 3 columns. The one will be the ID, basically the roll number, then the name, and we will also write marks. Okay, so this 3 will be the columns inside a table which is CSE12, and the database name will be DevStar CSE12. तो ये database का नाम होगा, ये table का नाम होगा. We are not going to insert any data by today, but we will just create a database table, and we will see whether it is already whether it's actually created or not. Okay, so again, some theory part, it's a local database we can access offline without internet connectivity. Extension is .db. It's an open source. It supports RDBMS, and it's a built-in Android. And one more thing, if you want to use this functionality of SQLite, then you need to extend our class. You need to extend our class from the class. The name of that class is SQLite Open Helper. SQLite Open Helper. This is what the class name, okay, which we need to extend our class. तो हमारा class से हमें extend करना होगा इस class से, and then we can use the inheritance functionality, and we can use the methods which are already available in this class. Okay, and now next thing is that how we are going to code. ठीक है, कोडिंग का कुछ स्ट्रक्चर हम लोग फॉलो करेंगे. दैट आई एम एक्सप्लेनिंग अगेन, नॉट अगेन, सॉरी, फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम, सो दैट यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड दैट कैसे हम कोड लिखेंगे. हर एक जो फाइल होगी उसमें मतलब कितनी फाइल बनाएंगे, और उस फाइल में बेसिकली लिखेंगे क्या, कोड में हम लोग क्या लिखेंगे. ठीक है, सो देयर विल बी वन डिजाइन फाइल. ओके, ये आपका XML फाइल होगा, दैट इज फॉर डिजाइन. The one file will be your main activity.java file. Okay, main activity.java file, and the third file will be your another Java file. Okay, तो एक और एक फाइल जावा फाइल बनाएंगे जिसमें हम क्या करेंगे, डेटाबेस रिलेटेड जो भी फंक्शंस बनाएंगे रिलेटेड टू डेटाबेस. ओके, जैसे कि हम लोग डेटा फैच करना है, इंसर्ट करना है, अपडेट करना है, डिलीट करना है, वो सारा का सारा कोड यहाँ पे लिखेंगे. सो बेसिकली व्हाट वी विल डू हियर, वी विल क्रिएट सम फंक्शन जैसे कि इंसर्ट, ओके, देन डिलीट, fetch and update. उसके अलावा भी दूसरे फंक्शन यूज करेंगे. ठीक है, बट मेनली ये फंक्शन यूज करेंगे जिसके अंदर वी विल राइट सम कोड. ओके, कि जिससे क्या होगा, डेटा फैच होगा, अपडेट होगा, डिलीट होगा. एंड एक्चुअली ये जो फंक्शन है वो कॉल कहां पे करेंगे, यहां पे कॉल करेंगे. सो बेसिकली व्हाट वी विल डू हियर, सपोज हमारे पास यहाँ पे कुछ डिजाइन है, तो उसके लिए हम लोग ऑब्जेक्ट्स बनाएंगे. वी विल डू द लिंकिंग हियर, एंड आफ्टर वी विल क्रिएट सम मेथड्स फॉर इंसर्ट, अपडेट, डिलीट, एंड वी विल डायरेक्टली कॉल दिस फंक्शंस. Okay, we will directly call these functions.
So
and जो भी रिस्पॉन्स आएगा उसके अकॉर्डिंगली हम लोग सिर्फ टोस्ट मैसेज यहाँ पे प्रिंट करवा देंगे कि दैट इंसर्ट सक्सेसफुल, डिलीट सक्सेसफुल, अपडेट सक्सेसफुल. बट जो एक्चुअल कोडिंग होगा वो इस फाइल के अंदर होगा. यू कैन गिव सम नेम लाइक db.java और वॉट एवर, बट जो मेन जो फंक्शनैलिटी है, इंसर्ट अपडेट डिलीट एंड जो भी डेटाबेस क्रिएट होता है, टेबल क्रिएट होता है, वो सब कुछ हम यहाँ पे करेंगे. यहाँ पे तो सिर्फ और सिर्फ हम लोग कॉल करेंगे, और वी कैन से बेस्ड ऑन द रिस्पॉन्स विच वी गॉट अकॉर्डिंगली वी विल रिएक्ट, और टोस्ट मैसेज प्रिंट करवा देंगे ज्यादा से ज्यादा, जैसे कि इंसर्ट सक्सेसफुल हो गया, नहीं सक्सेसफुल है, अपडेट सक्सेसफुल, लाइकवाइज. बट जो एक्चुअल कोड होगा वो इसी के अंदर होगा, दैट इज db.java. So for our first, that is for first this lecture, what we will do, we will try to create a database and table. And for creating a database and table, we don't require to design anything inside this XML file for now. ठीक है, अभी के लिए हमें कोई डिजाइनिंग की जरूरत नहीं है, क्योंकि हमें डेटाबेस एंड टेबल क्रिएट करना है, दैट्स इट. हमें अपडेट इंसर्ट डिलीट कुछ नहीं करना है, जब करेंगे तब देखेंगे. ठीक है. So let's take a new project. So I'm giving the name as a DB 2021 2022 2. Okay, click on finish. Okay, and so we will not do anything inside our XML file. So if you just see what is inside, so by default there is hello world label, so we will keep as it is. Okay, now we don't need to do much coding in main activity for now, because everything will be done by the last file, that is some database file. Okay, वही फाइल में हम कुछ कोडिंग लिखेंगे. Okay, wait a second. Just a second. Okay, so basically we are going to create a database and table, so we don't require much coding in this file. So basically we will create one Java file. Okay, so Java file जो हम लोग बनाएंगे वो जो main activity जहाँ पे है वहाँ पे ही बनाएंगे दूसरी एक file. So that will be this Java file. So what I am doing for creating a Java file, so right click on this this folder in which the main activity is there, new, and click on the Java class. And here I'm giving some name, which is, let's say, DB 2021 as a name, and let's click on OK button. Okay, so as you can see here, that class is created, and I just told you that whenever you need a functionality of SQLite database, you need to extend our class from the SQLite open class, or SQLite open helper class. Okay, so here we will extend our class, which is DB 2021 with SQLite open helper. So this is what the class we need to extend. Okay, and once you extend it, it will give you the error, because there are some methods and some constructor which you need to implement. Okay, you must need to implement some methods like on create and on upgrade methods. So if it is showing you the red bulb, then you can click on this red bulb and you can implement the methods. So it will ask you to implement two methods. You just by default it will be selected. You just press OK. That's it. The other way is that you just right click here, then generate. In case the red bulb is not showing to you, then right click again, then generate, and here you will find the implement methods. So once you click on implement methods, this two method it will ask you to implement. The one is on create method, other one is on upgrade method. So let's click on this OK button, and as you can see here, the two methods are implemented. So we have to write the code here inside this. Still it is showing us the red line. The reason is that we need to include the constructor for this. That's why. So either again you click on this red bulb and you can just create a constructor matching super, or you can directly again go for generate, right click on this, right, click on generate and then constructor. Okay, so by default जो भी आपका constructor selected है वही आपको OK press कर देना है, and once you press OK, that red line will be gone. वो red line चली जाएगी. Now what you need to do, just a second. So basically what I have done till now, I have created one class inside this folder, which is DB 2021, and I have extended my class from SQLite Open Helper class. Once I do it, it will ask you to implement some methods like on create and on upgrade, which I have implemented, and it will ask me to create a constructor, which I have created, either by showing the red bulb and giving you hint that this you need to do. Otherwise you can generate by right clicking the generate and then implement method, or create a creation of constructor. Now one thing which you need to do once this is done, so in a constructor, if you don't know what is a constructor, I'm repeating again, constructor क्या होता है, जो स्पेशल फंक्शन है जिसका नाम एंड क्लास का नाम सेम होता है. If you see here, the class name is what, DB 2021, and this is what the name of constructor, which don't have any return type. उसकी return type भी कुछ नहीं होती, not even void भी नहीं होती. So it's a special function, not class, special function which have the same name as a class name, and उसका कोई return type नहीं होता, not even void. So what we will do here, instead of, there are actually 4 parameters. So what we will do, we don't require the all parameters. So I will just keep only one parameter in a constructor. So by default, whenever you create a constructor, there will be 4 parameter. So what I am doing, I am just keeping the first parameter as it is, removing the other 3, because that I will manually pass. That's why. Okay, so whenever I will create the object of this, so this constructor will be called, and at that time I will pass this context. Okay, so that will be passed from this class, that is main activity.java class. Now what you need to do next is, here you need to provide the name of the database. So in my case, or in our case, what we need to do, I'm creating the database with the name Devstar CSE12. So that's what my database name. So in the second parameter, you need to pass here the database name. Okay, the third parameter, you need to pass null in a factory, and the version you can give anything, but don't give the version as a 0. ठीक है, 1 2 3 4 कुछ भी दे दो, but 0 मत पास करना, otherwise what will happen, the whole code will be correct, but it will not show you the error as well, but your code will not work. That's why. So as it is the first one, so I'm just giving the version as a 1. You can give 2 3 4, it's fine, no issue, but don't give 0. Okay, now next thing what we need to do, in the constructor itself, we need to create the object of SQLite database. Okay, and that also we need to create. There are again a two type of object which we can create. The one is readable and another one is writable. So readable में मतलब क्या है कि if you are creating the object with readable, then what will happen कि सिर्फ आप read data read कर सकते हो. If you go for the writable, then you can also update it. That's the difference. So how to create the object of SQLite database? First, you need to write the class name, then the object name I'm creating as a db equals to this dot. Here you will find the two different type, that is get readable database and writable. So we will choose the writable database and then semicolon. So this is what I have done. Now what we need to do, अगर किसी को पता है then और अगर याद है तो please write the syntax how to create a table in a comment section. Please write the syntax how to create a table in a database. Please write the syntax. That's it. You already learned the DBMS. I'm not asking the difficult query. It's very easy. Just write the syntax to create a table. Got one reply from Amit. Okay, create table name and then column and data type. Yeah, that's the correct answer, Amit. So first of all कि हमें basically करना होगा क्या, टेबल जो डेटाबेस का नाम तो दे दिया, we need to create a table. ठीक है, to create a table we need to know the syntax. So syntax बता दी है दक्ष and अमित ने. That's the correct answer. Okay, so create table name and then column and the data type, and if there is any constraint then we can give it. Okay, like primary key, foreign key, right, default. But if we want to write or some if you want to fire some query, for that what function we need to use? First of all, we need a database object, so which we have right now, So I'm using this object which is of what, SQLite database, in that is already available in a parameters. So in case, if in your case the database object name is different, जो SQLite database का object यहाँ पे दिया है वो different है, तो आप वही object name यहाँ पे use कर सकते हो. इसमें मेरे केस में वो DB लिखा है, तो आपके केस में may be differ हो सकता है. So you can use that particular database object name. Dot, here you need to call one function which is execute SQL, and in short it is exec SQL. So that means what, कि हम लोग यहाँ पे एक query लिख सकते हैं जो हमको fire करनी है, execute करनी है. Okay, so what we will do here in this side, inside of this execute SQL function, we will pass our query. Our query will be create table, and table name will be CSE12, and the column I require, which will be inside the parenthesis, which will be like ID, and the data type which I will require will be the integer, and that's it. So integer, ID and integer, then name, And here we will use, instead of varchar, we will use here the text for SQLite. Okay, instead of varchar, we are just using text. Then the third thing, that is marks. This will be the third column. So there will be 3 columns inside the CSE12 table: ID, name, and marks. So as the ID and the marks will be the numerical, so that's why we are using here the integer data type. So that's it. This is what we need to do. So create table name, then parenthesis, then ID, then data type. So column 1 data type, column 2 data type, column 3 data type separated by comma. This is what the first parenthesis, and then double quotes. So ये जो query लिख रहे हो double quotes में लिखना है. That's it. This is what you need to do. And now inside on upgrade method, so before this on create method, which method will be called? On upgrade method will be called. उसके अंदर हम लोग क्या करेंगे? If the table is already exist, ठीक है, अभी तो हम लोग बना रहे हैं, but table, if the table is already exist, then what we will do? We will drop that table. ठीक है, तो same query हम लोग using query will be different. So again, we will use what? SQLite database object, which is, again in my case it is db.execute SQL, and here we will write the query to drop a table if already exist. So for that, drop table if exist, and then table name. The table name is CSE12. Okay, so this is what the query we need to write if we want to drop a table if it is already existing. Okay, if the CSE12 table is already exist, then वो drop हो जाएगा. And then we will call our on create method, which is this one. And again, we need to pass what? The database object. So we can pass it because we have a database object, which is DB. So I'm passing that object. Okay. Again, everything I'm explaining. First of all, create one class, give any name, it's fine. No need to give the DB 2021. Extend our class from SQLite open helper class. Once you do it, it will ask you the 2 methods which you need to implement. The one will be the on create and one will be the on upgrade. The last thing which you need to include, that will be the constructor. So by default, whenever you create a constructor, there will be 4 parameters. Okay, remove the 3 parameters except the context. Okay, the remaining 3 parameters which you need to pass manually, that will be the database name. Okay, and one more thing I missed here, that is the extension, which is DB. Okay, and the third parameter, that is factory. So for factory, I'm giving null, and the version will be 1. Don't provide here 0. And then here I have created the object of SQLite database in a writable. But basically, I have created the object which will be the writable database object. And here inside the on create method, we are creating the table, and in on upgrade method, we are dropping the table if it is already existing. Okay, so this is what we are doing. But thing is that we are not this class is not connected with main activity.java file. So for connecting this, what we have to do, as there is a constructor is there, and if you don't know, then constructor will be called whenever the object of that class will be created. मतलब जब भी वो class का object बनेगा, तब constructor automatically call हो जाता है. So what I will do to link this class, I will create the object of DB 2021. So how to create the object? That is simple. Class name space object name equals to new, and then class name the same way. So I'm creating here the object with mydb. आप लोग डायरेक्टली भी लिख सकते हो mydb equals to new. मैं यहाँ पे इस तरीके से लिख रहा हूँ. Both will be the same. And as we know that as in a constructor, you can see here we need to pass one parameter which will be the context. Okay, So context आपको pass करना होगा. So for context here we will pass what main activity dot this. We know that we have to pass the context. So context we are passing what main activity dot this, or either you can go for get application context or this, only this. So what we have done, we have created the object. So whenever this object will be created, this constructor will be called. After that, the onUpgrade method will be called. And in onUpgrade, we are calling what onCreate method. So onCreate will be called. So what will happen? सबसे पहले जैसे ही ये एप्लीकेशन रन होगा, onCreate method कॉल होगा. हम क्या कर रहे हैं, एक ऑब्जेक्ट बना रहे हैं. जैसे ही ये ऑब्जेक्ट बनेगा, दिस कंस्ट्रक्टर विल बी कॉल. जैसे ये कंस्ट्रक्टर कॉल होगा, ये डेटाबेस क्रिएट हो जाएगा. And once it is done, then it will call onUpgrade. So if the table is already existing, that table will be dropped. अगर नहीं है, then it's fine. We are calling onCreate method. onCreate में हम लोग क्या कर रहे हैं, एक टेबल क्रिएट कर, which is CSE12 with the 3 column ID, name and marks. So this is what we are doing. So if I run this one, and if it runs successfully, then it will show me the hello world text view. Because agar ye application run ho jata hai, that means what, the table will be and database will be created for sure. Let's try it. The application is running. This is the previous one. To perform any insert, update, delete operation, first we need to create the object. And as you can see here, so database is created. And if you want to see whether the database is actually created or not, so for that what you can do, यहाँ से device file explorer है, यहाँ पे राइट हैंड साइड में device file explorer, वहां पे क्लिक करो. ठीक है, रन हो जाने के बाद अगर आपको चेक करना है कि क्या एक्चुअली में डेटाबेस क्रिएट हुआ है या नहीं हुआ है, so for that you can go here, device file, in a device file explorer. अगर नहीं मिलता, then you can go into view and then some device file explorer आपको मिल जाएगा. Let me check in a tool windows. You can see here device file explorer. So in a view, tool window and device file explorer, if it is not available here, then what you need to do, पहले एक बार refresh कर लो यहाँ पे. So when you click here and whenever you click here, then this will be refresh. Okay, so where you need to go, you need to go into the folder which is data. Then inside a data folder, again you need to go into a data folder. So again I'm going into data, inside a data. So दो folder हो गए, nested data and data. And here you need to find your application name. So as you can see here, my application name is db_2021-2022_2. That is my application. So let me find here the name. Initially वो कुछ जो एप्लीकेशन होगी वो आपको नाम दिखाएगी. आपको आपकी एप्लीकेशन का नाम फाइंड करना है. Okay, so it is available here. You can see here. Let me zoom it here. So it is com.example. Here is the application name which is saying db_2021-2022_2. So when I click here, you can see here the database folder is created. So that means what, database will be created for sure. अगर ये database बनता नहीं है तो ये folder भी नहीं होता by default. So अगर ये folder बन चुका है, that means database is created. When you click on this database, you can see here the database name is what, Depsta CSE12. That database is created. ठीक है. And अब अगर आपको चेक करना है कि क्या टेबल क्रिएट हुआ है या नहीं, उसके अंदर कौन सी कॉलम्स अवेलेबल है, उनकी डेटा टाइप क्या है, अगर वो सब कुछ अगर आपको चेक करना है अभी के लिए, फॉर दैट यू नीड टू यूज सम सॉफ्टवेयर, दैट इज SQLite मैनेजर. ठीक है. सो अगर वो नहीं चेक करना है, इट्स फाइन, नो नीड टू चेक ऑल्सो, ये बन ही जाता है. बट इन केस इफ यू वांट टू चेक, देन यू कैन चेक इट. पहले सबसे पहले इसको सेव कर लो. सो मैं इसको सेव कर रहा हूं. So just right click on this and here you will find save as, and यहाँ पे मैं डाउनलोड में उसको सेव कर रहा हूँ. The database name is Devstar CSE12. ओके सबसे पहले वापस से बता रहा हूं कि ये हम लोग क्यों कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि हमें चेक करना है कि डेटाबेस बना है या नहीं बना है. So for that again the steps I'm repeating again. Click on this device file explorer, then go to in a data folder. डेटा फोल्डर में जैसे जाओगे तो अगेन आपको एक और डेटा फोल्डर मिल जाएगा. अगेन उसके अंदर जाना है आपको, एंड देन यू नीड टू फाइंड योर एप्लीकेशन और वी कैन से प्रोजेक्ट नेम. So in my case, the project name is db_2021 2022 and _2. That's my application name. So once you go inside this folder, you will find here the database folder if the database is created. अगर आपको उसमें भी चेक करना है कि क्या टेबल बना है या नहीं है, then you just save this database and then you can open in a SQLite manager. जैसे आप अगर गूगल में लिखते हो SQLite manager तो आपको मिल जाएगा ऑनलाइन. I have already, so I can check and I can tell you. Wait, it is in my case it is showing something like this, that is DB browser SQLite. Let me open it and show you. So I'm going into file and open database. As I've stored in a download, I'm clicking on this folder download. The database name is Devstar CSE12. Okay, let's click on open, and as you can see here, जैसे ही मैंने उसको open किया, you can see here the table name which is saying CSE12, and when you click on this CSE12 you can find here the column name as well, which is ID, name and marks, and here you can see that it's data type also. So this is how you can check whether the table is created, whether the database is created or not, and make sure that once you completed this creation of this database and table, you must create this object. अगर आप ऑब्जेक्ट बनाओगे ही नहीं तो वो क्लास कॉल ही नहीं होगा, and this database will be not created. So first create this file, that is database file, and once it is done make sure you are creating the object of that class. अगर ऑब्जेक्ट नहीं बना होगा वो क्लास नहीं कॉल होगा, ये क्लास नहीं कॉल होगा मतलब कंस्ट्रक्टर कॉल नहीं होगा, कंस्ट्रक्टर कॉल नहीं होगा तो डेटाबेस नहीं बनेगा, टेबल नहीं बनेगा. And try it. Update, delete anything. So this is your first task. So to complete the other task as well, like CRUD operation, you need to first create this. So if you are finding any error, please let me know, and if it is done, then please share me the screenshot of this, in which you can show me your database is created. Please share a screenshot so that I can get that you created the database successfully and the table as well. So in case if you are finding any difficulty, any error, please let me know. The Amit and Parth, please other also send me the screenshot. On a Friday as well, so whenever we go for the next lecture or next lab, we will go for the insert operation. So before going for the insert operation, we need to make sure that the database and the table is created. Yes, I got the response from the Yash. Okay, Vivek. Nisarg is having some. Okay, okay, done. So for your reference, I'm giving you here not the whole code but partial code. अगर डायरेक्ट कोड दे दूंगा तो आप ट्राई नहीं करोगे. So this is just for your reference. I'm just showing, giving you the partial code. I'm just giving you the code for the methods, and so that you don't forget, I'm also providing the code to create the object of that class.
Lecture has been
Yeah.
started.
I'm taking your attendance, then you can leave.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. You can leave now.